Hello again, fans, and welcome on into the final first half episode of Riverdogs Insider. I'm your host, Dan Atchison. On this edition, we will round up the first half of the season, which certainly has had its ups and downs, talk with right-handed reliever Joey Maher, and take a look at a couple of special events that have happened and will be happening in and around the Joe in the coming months. All of that and a whole lot more on this edition of Riverdogs Insider. The first half of the 2015 season has been a solid one for the Riverdogs. They remained in the playoff hunt right up until the end of the 70 games of the first half. After a month of May that saw them go 11-18, they have rallied back and have gone 9-8 over their first 17 games during the month of June. It has been the offense in particular that has been scorching hot as they are hitting .275 with 10 homers and 85 runs scored during the month of June. Austin Aune began the month by hitting a walk-off home run, albeit a controversial walk-off home run in the 12th inning against the Augusta Green Jackets on June 1st. Let's take a look at that home run right now.
Bottom 12, one out, winning run at second. Here's the kick and the delivery. Swung on and driven high in the air, deep to left field. Kane going over and back, and it will be a home run. A walk-off home run for Austin Aune. It curls around the foul pole. First time this year we've seen.
Was it fair? Was it foul? It was fair, right? Well, that's what the umpire said. Regardless of that call, Aune has hit 5 homers already in June. Chris Breen has hit 3, and Dustin Fowler 2. That compiles the 10 homers hit by the Riverdogs this month. The biggest stretch of games for the Riverdogs came against the Tourists on the 12th through the 15th at McCormick Field when they racked up 34 runs on 52 hits, 22 of which were extra base hits. Speaking of Asheville, they are the host team for the 56th Annual South Atlantic League All-Star Game. First baseman and designated hitter Connor Spencer was the lone Riverdog selected to the Southern Division team. Unfortunately for him, he landed on the disabled list and will not play in the game. In 49 games this season with Charleston, Spencer has hit .290 with 23 runs batted in. Congratulations, Connor. It is now time to take a break. When we come back, we will talk to Joey Maher, a right-handed pitcher for your Riverdogs. Don't go anywhere. Riverdogs Insider will be right back.
In the summertime when the weather is hot.
The Ballpark Festival of Beers presented by Kickin' Chicken is Saturday, August 15th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Joe. Sample over 100 different types of brew at the Low Country's greatest beer drinking party on grass, featuring live music and some of Charleston's favorite food trucks. Tickets are $25 at any area Kickin' Chicken, $30 at riverdogs.com or at the Joe. The Ballpark Festival of Beers, Saturday, August 15th at the Joe. Rain or shine, must be 21 to enter. Beer. Welcome back to Riverdogs Insider. Today we are joined by Joey Maher, right-handed pitcher for the Charleston Riverdogs. Welcome onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great for you to be here. A New Hampshireite like myself. I'm going to take you through the draft and what that process was like for you. The draft just happened. A lot of dreams being realized by a lot of guys. Your dream was realized in the 38th round of the 2011 draft out of Bedford High School in New Hampshire. What was that like?
It was one of the best days of my life. I was actually on my senior trip. So I was with a lot of my friends, and I had an idea going into it that I was going to get drafted, and I just kept my fingers crossed. And when I finally found out, yeah, you know, it was probably one of the best moments of my life.
Well, you're still playing ball a couple of years later, which is incredible. So many dreams are realized on draft day. A lot of guys, you know, they watch the draft the first round or the first day, the second day. You were on your senior trip. How did you find out?
It was just one of my friends actually was following it on his phone, and he gave me the news on the bus right when it happened.
Wow.
It's pretty awesome.
That's incredible. Are you still friends with him?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Touch,
there
yeah.
you go. There you go. That's good news. Now, not too many New Hampshire kids get drafted out of high school. It's tough to play baseball in the Northeast. I mean, there's snow on the ground until April, May. You're out there shoveling the fields, but you were one of the lucky ones. What was that path like in New Hampshire? I mean, it's not easy. I know you and Jordan Cody were drafted in 2011. Cody from the same hometown as I am, which is really rare, but you two New Hampshire kids, kind of a rarity.
Yeah, you know, we do. We're definitely at a slight disadvantage there just by we can only play half the year.
Right.
So the moment that snow clears out, you know, we're getting on the field anytime we can. We also have to, you know, try to play indoors a lot. So there's that, trying to get prepared for the season. So that's never fun. That's one of the reasons I moved down to Florida is being able to be outdoors, getting ready for the season, you know.
All year long, and that's one of the things that you can't do in New Hampshire, like you said, because of Mother Nature and the snow. But your career so far, you've battled some injuries. What's that been like for you? How hard has that been for you to persevere and continue?
Well, that was, you know, just kind of came out of nowhere for me. It was obviously shocking, and it's been grueling to bounce back. And I think that in retrospect, I learned a lot from it. You know, it kind of tested me and how much I wanted it. And, you know, being on the sidelines, it helps you appreciate even more being healthy. You know, so even if I have a bad outing, you know, having missed a year, you think, well, you know, I've got a little bit better than some of these other guys, like my buddy Camarena right now, Daniel Camarena. He's going through the same thing. I've been in his shoes. I know what it's like. You just got to try to put that stuff in perspective and try to use it to, you know, get to where you're trying to go. And
you continue to do that. Your first full season here in Charleston. It's been a pleasure to watch you from the starter role to the reliever role. You pitched 6 perfect innings out of the bullpen back a couple Sundays ago. That's incredible. I've never seen anything like that before, but the transition for you from starter to reliever, it's really, you know, a starter out of the bullpen. The RiverDogs do that a lot, but you're a long man out of the pen, and you've been having a pretty good year so far.
Thank you. You know, I'm just trying to, anytime I'm on the mound, just trying to do the best I can regardless. So however the team needs me, right now I'm in the bullpen, I'm just going to do the best I can. You know?
What were those 6 perfect innings like? As a reliever in the bullpen, you don't expect to come in the first inning, but you picked up your teammate and you kept your team in the ballgame.
Well, I wasn't really ready to come in, but I rushed. You know, fortunately Jordan had a little health issue. His rib kind of popped out of place, so you could tell right from the get-go that he had an issue. So I started getting hot, and I just really was trying to focus on getting the ball down, and they were swinging that whole game. They were just putting the ball in play, and my team was making great plays. I had my catcher was calling a great game, and just quick.
Yeah,
I consider it kind of a lucky outing. I mean, I was hitting my spots, but they were 6 perfect. I'll take it. Hey,
yeah, certainly 9 scoreless from the bullpen, 6 from you, and you know, the relievers behind you picked you up as well.
Awesome
Tim Norton, working with him, he's a former River Dog. He knows what he's doing. He had to battle injuries, so he can provide insight on that, but also a great pitcher in his own right.
Yeah, working with Norty, I've been working with him for a few years now. He, like you said, he's been through the whole process, so he takes special care of all of us, making sure that we're all healthy because he knows what it's like. You know, he was getting up there towards the big leagues, and he had a tough, just the timing and everything. So it's not good, but working with him the past few years, it's been awesome. He's a great role model for all of us, and he really knows the game, and he's been awesome this year for me, helping me out with every single pitch.
Yeah, I can see it day in and day out. The pitching staff really likes to work with Tim, and you're no different. Now, we've talked a little bit of serious stuff. Now we're going to have some fun, get you out of here on these superlatives, like the high school yearbook. The biggest spread killer. Now, you are probably one of them because pitchers are known first in from BP to be big spread killers, but who's the biggest spread killer on the team?
I am kind of a spread killer, I'll admit it, but the biggest spread killer when he was here was Luis Cedeno.
Oh, and he's like this tall,
yeah, I know.
And a stick figure.
Yeah, bad.
But he was
just no regard, doesn't care.
All right. Biggest card shark. You guys are always playing cards in the clubhouse, on the bus. Who's the biggest card shark?
Biggest card shark. I'd have to say it's probably Frere.
Caleb Frere?
Yeah, Frere, he's been coming at me lately, you know, in those games, so I got to give it to him.
All right, Frere's the biggest card shark. Least morning person.
Worst morning person on the team? I think it might have been Joe Harvey.
I think so.
Yeah, he was pretty, you never know, like kind of sometimes it's just the way he is a little bit.
Pretty grumpy in the morning. And pitcher most likely to go yard. You guys all hit in high school. You guys all have home runs. You guys all have power. You know, you're 6'4". You've got some. You have some ability to hit the ball far if you make contact. Probably not here at the Joe, but some of the other parks around the league. Who is most likely to hit a home run on the pitching staff?
You're putting me in a tight spot here, man. I don't know. The whole staff most likely to hit a home run? Probably, I'll give it to D-Mac. I'll toss him a ball.
D-Mac?
Yeah, I'll give it to D-Mac.
All
He
right.
played. He was in college. He played a little bit.
Okay.
Position player, I think.
All right. So Dylan McNamara, the most likely to hit a home run in BP. If we were a National League affiliate, maybe you guys might get a chance to take some pictures of BP. But Joey Maher, thanks so much for joining us today on RiverDogs Insider. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back with more talking about special events in and around the Joe when we return on RiverDogs Insider. Downward Facing Riverdog is Saturday, July 11th, 9 a.m. at the Joe. Join internationally known yoga instructor and author Catherine Budig on the field for a unique yoga experience. Then, sip on mimosas and Bloody Marys in Vendor Village with live music by Chris Dodson. Advance tickets are $10 at RileyParkEvents.com and the RiverDogs box office, or $15 at the door. Downward Facing Riverdog, presented by Kitchen Magic of the Low Country, benefiting Poses for Boz, July 11th. Visit RileyParkEvents.com for more information. Welcome back to RiverDogs Insider. On this third segment, we'd like to take a peek and show you some special events that are happening in and around the Joe. This one, the first one that we like to talk about, happened around the Joe. It was the RiverDogs Spotlight Game. It is where the entire staff takes all of the in-game entertainment and invades a Little League game in the surrounding area. This year's game was the 10U Cal Ripken All-Star Tournament, hosted by Mount Pleasant Rec at the Joe Garrich Baseball Complex. Game featured the West Ashley All-Stars and the Goose Creek All-Stars. Ken Carrington did his normal shtick as the PA announcer with player intros and the announcement of each batter as they stepped to the plate, and the RiverDogs staff put on a fun show complete with mid-inning games like the pony hops, ribbon dancing, and t-shirt toss. The West Ashley All-Stars took home the win 11-1, but we are assured, and as that video shows, everybody had a blast. The next event was the RiverDogs Bark for Your Brew, where fans and their four-legged friends came to the Joe and had a great time sampling over 30 beers. Hundreds of puppies were mingling around the concourse and stayed for the game on the final dog day of the season. Now the RiverDogs begin the second half of the season with a 9-game road trip to Greenville and Asheville, but they return home for a 9-game homestand, the longest of the season, which begins on July 4th. You certainly do not want to miss it. Well, that will do it for this episode of RiverDogs Insider. Many thanks to Joey Maher for joining us and to you for tuning in. We'll be back in a bit with the first episode of the second half after the All-Star break. We'll see you again real soon, everyone, and as always, go RiverDogs.